Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, WZ Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be doing a showcase of the 113. This is a Tier 10 Chinese tech tree heavy, and in my opinion, it is one of the hardest Tier 10s to drive in the game. A lot of people look at this vehicle on paper and they're like, wow, it's got decent armor, solid mobility, incredibly good heat pen, and a very, very good gun in general. The problem is, once you extrapolate the weaknesses, you start to realize where this vehicle can fall short quite quickly. In today's video, I'll be showcasing not only the strengths of the 113, but how to use them effectively and come out with victories. We're going to start off by doing a brief overview of the statistics. We'll move over to the armor, and then we'll break into some gameplay. So let's talk about the gun on the 113. This is the major selling point. You've got a pretty solid gun in general. Its dispersion isn't great, but running refined gun does obviously make it quite manageable, especially with only a 3-second aiming time. You have 3,050 DPM, and that's with Cali, so really good damage per minute. The penetration on the standard pretty bad, especially because it is APCR standard, but it makes up for it with the heat, having over 390 mils of pen. And the damage per shot on this vehicle's heat is quite nice at 360. If you get out any other 400 alpha vehicle, so let's say we make our way over to like the American T110E5, and we take a look at this vehicle's damage per shot on the heat, you'll notice it is 340. And if you do that for really any heat firing vehicle, it's going to be 340 mils. But the Chieftain Mark 6 and 113 both feature actually quite a bit more. And the reason why is because, well, for the 113, this vehicle used to have 420 alpha. Wargaming took away 20 alpha from the heat, but did not, or took away 20 alpha from the APCR, but did not take it away from the heat. So basically, it just kind of stayed the same DPM if you actually load gold, which is kind of cool, where it only lost a bit if you're firing standard ammo. 6 degrees of gun depression, obviously not great. It's going to make it a little tricky to use. And mobility-wise is the major saving grace. This thing is fast, reaches a top speed of 45, has a great power to weight of 17, ridiculously good traverse, and it has a solid amount of reverse speed at 15. So the 113 in terms of mobility is great. In terms of DPM is absolutely fantastic. The question is, how is it in the armor department? Well, this is where it gets a little tricky. A lot of people don't realize this, but the 113 is actually a rear-turreted vehicle, and you can see that above a lot better. The amount of distance it takes to get from here to here is actually less than the amount of distance it takes from this to get from here to here. And the problem with that is when you roll around a corner and you have your turret turned like this, look how much of your track wheel is showing before your turret actually gets around the corner. That is the major problem that a lot of people have with the 113. You cannot poke sideways in this tank. What you want to do is you want to get into a side scrape like this, and then you want to poke people. That is ideally where the 113 is going to work well, because poking it with, you know, trying to roll around a corner just isn't going to work. It's never going to work. You just can't do that. Now, let's talk about the armor frontally. Its upper plate on flat ground is about 290, which is pretty good. It's nothing crazy, though. Like heat shells, they're going to cut right through it. No problem whatsoever. This isn't even with Cali, so yeah, you're going to cut right through the 113 with heat. The turret is incredibly strong, though. You can see that it's really, really thick. Even the cheeks are about 290. So the turret is really good, and if you are using full gun depression, the 113 armor can actually be quite impressive. But that's full gun depression. In most situations, you're not going to be able to get that out. You're going to be penned through the upper plate quite easily on this tank. So what you want to do is usually you just want to side scrape the vehicle, stick it at an angle like this. You'll have a lot of bounces on your sides, as we can see, and then you can bleed out your opponents. Try not to overpoke your sides. Try not to show your lower plate or your frontal plate, because in general it's quite weak. And even though it does look red, the moment people load gold, it's not going to be. So let's obviously get into some gameplay and see what the 113 can do. So we arrive in an all tier 10 match, which is good and bad in its own different ways. It's good because there's more damage to get. It's bad because there's more damage to take. The enemy team has a Rinocerante, a Kron, an IS-7. That is 3 tier 10 heavies. We also have 3 tier 10 heavies, VK-90, and a Kron. Okay, so we are pretty well equipped on the armor department. We are going to start off this game by making a rather aggressive play, and that is right here. That's where I'm going to move. And the reason why is because with this tank's mobility, we are quite a bit faster than the Kron on their team and the Rhino. I'm really hoping if we poke this just like so, well, we have spotted the grill. That's pretty impressive. Wow, we actually did not even get close to spotting the Kron or any of the other vehicles. Rather surprising. Okay, well, not that big of a deal. We're just going to move up over here. We have the Rhino on our flank, and let's see if the Rhino, there you go, continues pushing up. And we got a free 380 damage shell out. Alright, pretty good stuff. We can say that the Kron is looking at us, and personally don't really want to deal with that right now. Wow, that Rhino literally just got obliterated. That is crazy. Well, he's dead. Kron pokes, and we get a nice 407 shell out. I cannot believe that the Rhino on their team's dead already. Like, I'm a little confused on how that's even possible, to be honest. Well, got the grill in the back, tried to shoot him, didn't get the shell out. You can see how almost passive I'm playing this tank. It is not really an aggressive vehicle. It is definitely a passive tank. And unfortunately, even though I thought we were pretty well hidden there, the enemy grill is still able to slam a shell right into our tank, which is a little annoying, but not that big of a deal. IS-7 bounces us. This is definitely where the armor of the 113 does pretty good. When you can just kind of hold a position like this, and the enemy's not able to do anything to you, this is obviously really, really nice. Nice 368 damage shell into the enemy M48 Patton, and he's not enjoying that too much. Let's see, we got the 268 on our flank, we got the Kron in the open. Not able to hit the Kron right now. Might be able to hit that 268 though. Let's aim in a shell on his vehicle. There you go. Nice 500 max roll, which is obviously pretty dang solid. Alright, well the 268's dead. Got the Kron right in the open, and the shell goes low. Gotta love RNG, right? My favorite value ever. Alright, well, I think the Kron is on reload and pretty useless as of now, but we are going to die because I didn't see a 4005 randomly rolling around the corner. So let's just chill here for now, and let's just see if we can oh, he misses the shot, and we're actually not going to die. Great job from the 4005. We could not have predicted that they would have a 4005 that would roll around the corner here, but it really doesn't matter because now we get to use our superb DPM and get a couple shells out. So this was kind of a steamroll, and when I say kind of, it was a steamroll. Our team absolutely deleted the enemy, but I think we played this game pretty smart. If you notice, we never really played aggressive there, and we put ourselves in a spot where we didn't have to worry. And that was actually an ace, so it shows you just how tricky this tank is to drive. 3,700 damage is not a bad result, though, for really everything considered there. But you'll notice, early game, that grill was just kind of sitting there. I couldn't have really predicted that, so oh well. But this spot here is really one of my favorite spots on this map. And the major reason why is the mediums on the flank can't shoot you, and the heavies over here really can't do anything to you unless they like push through this first. And you have a bit of gun depression that you can work right here to hide your lower plate and upper plate from anything that like the ISM would poke there. So this is just a really good spot in general to hold, and it's nice because I don't need to over-aggress to get out damage. I can kind of chill here, I can take my own time, and we can get bleeds out. And that's exactly what we did. We obviously started playing aggressive once we realized that we could, and we got a bit screwed by RNG, bounced the Kron, which that really shouldn't have. And then not only did we bounce the Kron, but a 4005, which we really just couldn't have predicted, rolled around the corner. And you might say, well, why didn't you back up? There's just no way I could have backed up in time once the 4005 was spotted in front of us. So the only realistic solution I came up with was me driving in front of the IS-7 so that he would take the shot for me. And that's exactly what happened. So that was kind of a how you want to take advantage of the 113. You don't want to over-aggress it. You almost want to play it like you don't have armor. You know, kind of like the Object 260. But what you do want to do is still put yourself in a position where you can obviously use your DPM and get out damage. If our team obviously weren't there, we could have easily done upwards of 4,300, 400 farming out that 4005 after he missed that final shell. And that's where the DPM is really nice. So now we have a tier 9 match with only a couple tier 10s. We got a 57 heavy, a concept, and a 183. And in tier 9, they have a Cobra, a Mill 2, Hori, and a Conf Panther. So that's quite a bit of heavies. That's 4 heavies in total. We have 4 as well, 2 Mills in platoon, and we also have an M5Yo. So we are definitely down in the heavy department, like not even close. And I'm really hoping our Badger comes over here. However, that does not appear to be the case. So, oh boy, and our Mill's running stock speed boost. So that's already very little confidence on the heavy flank. Because of that, I'm not going to be playing super aggressive. If you look at your teammates and you see that they don't appear to be very good, you definitely do not want to be putting yourself in an over-aggression. We have the enemy concept 1B detected already. And I'm just going to wait here for now. Again, not really going to do anything over-aggressive here. Oh, there you go. We got the mill in front, and nice shell right through his vehicle. Oh, we also got the concept. We were able to angle our vehicle just properly, though. get a bounce from his tank, which is obviously pretty nice. Okay, well this position here is a rather solid one. We are low rolling our shots, but it's not that big of a deal. The enemy just really can't do much to me in this current holding spot, which is obviously nice. Emil 2 is still somewhat healthy. A lot healthier than I thought he would be completely real. We got the Hori in the back, and I'm just hoping that our team wins the other flank of the map, because that is obviously where the majority of action is going on right now. Concept has moved up a bit over there. Let's see, is there anybody over here? Nope. Okay. Well, again, we are trying not to over-aggress at all. I don't know if their Emil 2 is going to poke anything over here. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Let's see. We have our Emil 2 moving up a bit. So I'm going to move up myself. Oh, there you go. We got the Hori, and wow, what an awful shot from our tank. That's not even really the... I don't know what to say. That was just an awful shot from our vehicle. Oh, we get a nice shot into the Emil 2. Now we're going to get into a side-scraping position. We also have the Hori, and we have the Concept on our flank. Let's see. There you go. Nice shell straight into the Concept. Obviously blinging him out a decent amount. And what I'm kind of hoping is that... Well, I don't think that Concept's going to poke it anymore, let's be honest here. The Waffenträger is on our side, and I'm just going to poke this. I don't know if that Emil is over here. No, he's not. Okay. Well, at this point, we can move up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to move up. We're going to aim it on the Emil 2. There you go. Nice 500 match roll into his tank as well. That's obviously really, really nice. And our team is looking at the enemies, which is obviously pretty good. So there you go. We got a nice shell into the Hori. He does slam us right back, though. The Hori is such a dangerous tank because of the fact it has so much penetration. Thankfully, the 113 has a lot more DPM. So even though that Hori is a scary vehicle, it's not too scary. We obviously out DPM it by quite a bit, and then we can aim it on its lower plate and get the clearing shell. So again, notice I'm really focusing on not bleeding health in these battles. I'm really trying to conserve my HP throughout the games. And that is what you want to do in a vehicle like the 113. Playing over-aggressive, bleeding your health is never going to be the right maneuver in this tank, because if you do, you're literally just going to throw your game away. So we got the enemy 57 heavy, we got a nice 340 damaging shell, and we're going to back up. 57 reverse is slower than we do, so that really wasn't too much of an issue there. At this point, we have lost the medium flank, but we've obviously won the heavy flank by quite a bit. So it's not too much of really an issue, and we're just going to push the 57 if we can. Let's see if we can get a shell out. There you go. We do get a shell. We have the enemy Kampfpanzer in front of us here. And again, this is where that DPM is great, because Kampfpanzer has made an over-aggression here, and he's kind of in the open. And even if this KPZ does end up penning me, and we're just going to... Oh, it doesn't even look like he's looking at me. No, he's not. He was looking at the waffle. But that's fine with me. We are already up to 4,800 damage, and we got the clear on his vehicle. So that leaves us with only one tank left, being the enemy Cobra, and obviously it's going to be a win. So you'll notice how, again, we're never over-aggressing in this tank. I'm always trying to conserve my health, always paying attention to what's going on around me, and I'm never going to be the front line. Like, sure, I did bleed a little bit of health this game, but as I always say, there's no real shame in bleeding health if you're in a tier 10 heavy. You're supposed to bleed health. You know, poking to get shots into the Hori is not that big of a deal if you're going to bleed more out. But driving in front of a loaded 57 heavy, or driving in front of, you know, really anything, the Emil 2, you don't want to bleed health for no reason. Even if you're trading shots, it's usually not worth it. I'd much rather put myself in a position where I don't need the trade, and I can just bleed out. So we did 5,100 damage in that game, and that was obviously a really good battle to get out some farm, to get out an easy win. We're going to do a triple helping of gameplay today. Normally I don't do this, but I really think a triple helping is going to showcase all the situations that you can show in this vehicle. So here we are. Up against us, we have a Mouse, we have an E5, a K91, an ST1. That is 4 heavy tanks. We have Flossie on our team, and we also have the Mouse and the Kron, so we should be okay here. And yeah, let's see what we can do. Full speed ahead. Now, again, I really like the mobility on the 113. That is what I love about this tank, is it is so fast. This is easily one of the more mobile heavies in tier 10, and it makes it so enjoyable to drive. Also, whenever you're on this map, lock your turret to the side, and that is because of the fact that if any mediums or lights try to push into that position there, you're going to have to be really, really cautious about it. So we have the enemy E5, and there you go. Nice shell into his tank. We have the ST1, and oh, we also got the K91. Not really sure why the enemy is doing that, but they were. There you go. Nice shell into the enemy ST1. We've already done a decent amount of damage, to be honest. We're going to aim it on the E5 here, and there you go. Nice shell. 394 damage. Again, the DPM on this tank is great, and the damage output is super, super solid. Nice shell into the ST1, however, ooh, I was going to say we might get bled out, but we actually didn't, which is quite good. We're going to stay in a side-scraping position here so that the E5 cannot overmatch my armor, and already the enemy team is just getting absolutely annihilated. We have the K91 in the back. We're going to aim it on the K91. He's getting pushed by his mouse, it looks like, but honestly, I'm going to take advantage of every single situation I can, so I'm not going to complain all too much. We got the E5, and unfortunately our shell goes a little low, but it's not really that big of a deal. We have the mouse right in front of us, and we're just going to aim it on this mouse. We're going to load in heat because we can't really pen him with our standard. APCR standard is pretty dookie, let's be honest, and it is going to put you in situations that you won't love, so loading gold is usually going to be a much, much better situation for a tank like this. That's exactly what we did here. We got the grill, and we're going to get a nice shell into the grill. Only 364, but still a pretty solid shot. You'll notice that it's very awkward to poke this tank in a situation like this because of the way its gun depression works. It is only 6 degrees, but because it's super low down, it's not too bad. So we're going to aim it on the mouse now, and there you go. Nice 307 clearing shot. And I'm going to try and get the grill cleared. Oh, maybe not. The entire enemy team's dead. Well, there you have it. Steamroll. But you know what? Because the 113 has such solid DPM, it's able to get out these super easy wins and farm. You'll notice that the enemy team made mistakes, and I played this tank aggressive this game because I could. I didn't bleed any health, and we got out a win. The 113 is just a great tank in general. It is fast, it has great DPM, and ridiculously good penetration. And because of that, it is easily one of the better tier 10 heavies when played properly. Now the C50 might die, so I'm just really hoping I might be able to get the shell out into the enemy E50. Come on, no! We were so close. Unfortunate. But there you go. Pretty solid stuff, if I do say so myself. So let's take a look at the post-game results here for our third and final battle with the 113. We were able to rip out over 4,100 damage, and once again, another ace. So that is back-to-back aces, 3 in a row. Flossie did pretty well as it was, and there you go. So that is the 113. It is a tricky tank to drive, yes, but it is also an absolutely fantastic vehicle. As I said, the gun is really good, and the armor, while not great on the turret, is fantastic. So if you hide the hull and you either use the turret or you side scrape, those are going to be your two really main ways of playing this tank. You're not going to bounce anything. I mean, the gun is so good that you're just going to butter through armor. And it's fairly accurate, as you saw, especially with refined gun. It's actually quite nice. So let me know what you guys think about the 113. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.